Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
Couldn't you coalesce around the Mwanga issue for reconciliation of all the forces?
I think with or without the unfortunate situation that the Honorable Mwanga finds himself in, I think it's always a good thing for people to work together. I'm even surprised that there can be a question as to whether it is a good thing for people to work together.
No, I mean, there's no love lost between Noob and Mpuga and Segona, and of course, Honorable Basali. You heard the kind of comments that your principal made about...
competition, and I think the Honorable Ssemujju mentioned it, that elections sometimes, and I think it's Dr. Vesey always said that elections sometimes are subversive. They stand in the way of the progress of the struggle. When people are competing, even when they are siblings, they can throw barbs at each other. But that does not mean that they cannot work together. Does not mean that they have become enemies. So that was a season. I don't think any of them considers, I don't think the Honorable Basari considers the people of NUP as enemies. We don't consider him as an enemy. So I don't think there's even any debate around that issue, in my view.
Can you ever work together with Mpuga?
Why not? No, I said why not?
Honorable Ssemujju, that gesture of Mpuga, Segona, and Basali checking on a person who was very hostile towards them recently.
See, the trouble with the elections is that many of the things we do, many of us don't believe in them. But they give you an advantage in an election. But also we are working with some of the colleagues for the very first time. But you must also understand, I was in New Zealand, in Maxon. I would call them prefects. They pick from you. Prisoners will compete to be prefect to the category in the prison. They will compete for human beings are like that. Even to head your fellow inmates, people will fight over it. And that's the fight that we have had. Colleagues within the opposition elbowing you. In my own election, people of Noob were insulting me every day. They even forgot that there was an NRM. But because of my experience, I don't begrudge them, because they are seeking to advantage themselves in a competition. When we had our internal elections in FDC, I supported General Muntu. My own colleague said, Ssemujju, we're Munyarwanda, that's why you are supporting Muntu. Again, because of my experience after that election, I went back to work with them. People who are not experienced, if you subject them to that kind of treatment, you may not recover them. It takes experience to know that in a competition, people can say anything. Not because they believe it, but because they want to advantage themselves. It will take those with that experience to be able to speak to others and bring them back. I had conversation. I went to Najana Nkun. I was chief opposition whip. Winnie was the leader of opposition. So they said, you guys, you must come back. I think it was an ultimatum. And I went and told them, you see, we are still healing. We don't like you. That's why we didn't support you. Give us time to heal. We will come back. So even within the same party, before you speak about other parties, it can be rough. It can be rough. But for me, I said I have gone through this. It bothers me, but I know how to deal with it. The trouble is that there are those who are not used to it. When you insult them, when you abuse them, you will not even greet each other forever. So we have a duty. The time I have seen Katana. He's a decent, good person. I hope he has influence in his party. Because there are people in his party who look at other opposition as enemies. who think their main target is to finish other opposition for them to occupy the space they are occupying. You ease Museveni's work when you are fighting against each other. They will be enjoying. I know the Christians are celebrating. So it will take some leaders within our own groups to have a conversation.
Now that the big opposition giants are out of parliament, do you see a possibility of having a coalition of some kind outside parliament that could actually work to reinforce parliament? Because hitherto, it's been parliament.
What is going to unite us, or some of us, is because there are those who believe that they can overwhelm the conditions. Many of them have seen that it's not easy. I think Rubongoya now has a different opinion about elections in Uganda than what he had. I have a mayor in my own area who was Nup. After winning, he had over, I think, about 14,000. The NRM announced one who had 4,000.
The third.
The third, yes.
Actually, here in Kampala Metropolitan, it has been the...
They have done that.
You can go to court and have that overturned.
That's what you think. So they have done that in many... They have done that in many areas. So I think there are people in NUP who will know that the popularity of their platform in itself is no longer enough. In this way, you need everybody. There are those who thought that the popularity of the platform is enough to overwhelm the...
So the reality has dawned on them now?
It may not have on the entire institution, but those who have experienced the same thing, you will know that you can actually win an election and you get cheated. That you may need everybody to go and fight. The same way you go to approach a by-election. So when we face the same circumstances and we have tested them, all of us, the same way, I think it might be easier to have a discussion than either in the past or in the present. Because these circumstances that you see...
You seem to look at it as a blessing in disguise. That all of you have been hit, and the reality is now...
I'm not celebrating anyone's setback. I am only saying that if you face the same conditions, you will know that actually, whether you are powerful or not, you are dealing with an entrenched dictatorship. I mean, just imagine someone with 4,000 votes. They multiply them to become 17,000. And is announced.
At least that one. Even me, I told the returning officer.
Were you the Electoral Commission? Where
The law provides for mandatory recount. I read him the section of the law. You know what he did? He called the RPC and DPC, who are all Balalo, and consulted them for guidance. And he came and said, I'm not recounting.
So all of them Bararo?
Yes.
We don't have a tribe of Bararo in Uganda.
No, for me, I know what I'm talking about. A returning officer is consulting someone who is...
You see, the experience that we have had, when the Katanas came, they were experiencing this for the first time. And they thought maybe they will overwhelm me. Maybe that's the same mentality that Besigye had going into elections 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he came to the same conclusion that maybe we need to do it differently. So we've lost a lot of time. Because this Museveni that people think now is grown older, you might be thinking about retirement. The way I see and my little knowledge of Museveni, I think now he has started planning for 2031. He's addicted. He thinks he must die.
I was just telling someone, you'll see him on the ballot if he can still walk.
Of course, if he's alive.
Yeah.
So I think he's addicted. He thinks
we have no problem.
He needs...
endorsing him as an NRM.
Baryomunsi,
yes.
What do you make of this move by Segona, Buga, and Basali to visit a colleague who hitherto was more of an enemy to them?
No, Honorable Wanga Kivumbi, even me, I might visit him because he's a colleague in the parliament. You see, at times you think because we are political adversaries in the parliament, we are not individuals, we are not humans. We are not humans. I went to visit the Besigye, I'm not the opposition. No. So They are visiting a colleague.
It wasn't at your own volition.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
it
because
was
of
my-
your office.
No, it was my
This one
own
was
decision.
sent by Museveni.
No, it was my own personal decision to visit him, by the way. Now, the opposition is suffering from what we call in medical terms an autoimmune disease, where the body starts eating itself from within. You look at the behavior of opposition in the last 5 years. The major preoccupation by NUP is fighting Mpuga over, to me, a matter which was trivial, which could have been solved internally. Now, Mpuga has lost. Segona, why did Segona lose? Again, the fights within NUP. Did you think fighting Mpuga and Segona was strengthening NUP?
Because of the fights within NUP,
There are other
people
issues.
lose elections.
Just
so
hold
you
on.
shouldn't.
So, the opposition, much as you want to rush to blame President Museveni and what, but you also have internal challenges that have disempowered you not to get stronger. Look at Chagulanyi. What mobilization has he been doing in the last 5 years? Other than going to the Caribbean, outside and so forth, he has not invested adequately in mobilizing Ugandans, in my view.
And he tries to move the police blocks.
So,
we live in a
so now, if you look at the NUP removing my friend Ssemujju, now NUP removing Lukwago, that doesn't strengthen opposition in my view. So I think
But
you have.
Chris, for you in NRM,
Just hold
you
on.
are repressed by a
Just
man
hold on.
who cannot even be invited to such a show.
Just hold on.
So what more
Don't
authority
drag
does
me.
someone from
So I am
NRM?
now
But you are
discussing
dragging in
opposition.
our leaders. So how
I've
can
already
you say
said
don't
we have our
drag
own
me?
weak challenges in NRA, but I'm now discussing. You take notes. You get a note. Now, sometimes these colleagues of ours come here and posture and appear as if they are pro-Uganda, they are what. I have lived in the parliament.
So we are pro-Rwanda now.
I have lived in the parliament time enough to know what goes on in the politics. I can tell you, for instance, when we were discussing Toji Kwatako, amending the constitution, these are the very opposition, the people who came and said, tell President Museveni to give us money, we shall allow. When you saw the speaker,
Could you name one of them?
that's all. When you saw the speaker suspending members of parliament of the opposition, it was a negotiated arrangement. Members of parliament coming, so you tell the speaker to suspend us so that you pass this issue and we win our parliamentary seats. Just games.
But Baryomunsi, do you know that I almost died that day?
It is the problem
So
of
you
Simon
mean-
who is
you mean-
allowing
you mean
him.
that the speaker,
Let me talk.
the
Let me
speaker
talk.
Not the
brings
problem of
the
Baryomunsi,
speaker
but the
brings the
moderator.
SFC to brutalize me.
Let me talk.
You're a very bad man.
No. Ssemujju, you are among those who approached me to negotiate with Speaker Kadaga. You brought a list of MPs to suspend. That's how you were suspended.
Baryomunsi, I didn't
The
know.
only thing
I
you
didn't know
did,
that you were a criminal.
the only thing we had agreed.
That,
no, wait.
that
The
me,
only
I
thing-
agree with
yes,
you.
you. The only thing
You,
you did,
Baryomunsi.
not you, now you, your team, we had agreed. You would move out.
You met Ssemujju.
This is Ssemujju. We agreed when they suspend you, you will bow as per the rules and move. The only way you tricked us, when you suspended, you remained. And that's why you attracted security and so forth. Deny. You face there and deny.
That I ever met you during that
Yes.
period.
I was the Minister of State for
you
Housing,
must be a criminal,
holding a
Chris
portfolio
Baryomunsi.
of information.
There's
So
nothing
these
that
people,
has made...
they come
You,
here and
Baryomunsi,
posture. They come here and posture.
I think that's a
they
record.
they come here and posture, masquerade as patriotic, when actually behind the scenes, you do a lot of games.
Ssemujju, you want to respond to that?
Do I even have to respond?
Okay, you just don't.
I have never met Baryomunsi during that period. We met Kadaga, we sent actually a team in broad daylight. And Kadaga promised that matter will not be handled because we are divided ourselves into two teams. The Honorable Winnie Chiza, the Honorable Kupa, the Honorable Katuntu and others went to reach out to the speaker. This one was not involved at all. The only period he was involved, if he now wants me to tell the public what he told me,
Yes.
because this one was part of a group who went and agreed with Museveni to come and switch off cameras. That's what you told me. If you want me to tell you the conversation of what you told
First
me.
finish.
There you go.
You first finish.
Go ahead.
First finish.
Because
You
what
have the time.
What Chris told me, because Baryomunsi was very active, part of the team that went.
So we met. You are debating, we met.
We never
discussed
met
those
for a
issues.
meeting. We are discussing. We keep
No,
talking every
we
day.
met.
Even today, we are talking in Parliament, but not in meeting.
No. So when I tell you, it was on the microphone.
You found me in the Parliament. Like
Where?
usually. Do you want me to say
Do I sit with you on the
everything
same
that
side?
you tell me, Chris?
Oh,
Then
you
you will
finish.
be sacked.
As long as I'm given the right of reply.
This is blackmail.
No.
There is no single MP who went to negotiate for his suspension. In fact, for information, I was never suspended. I was shocked,
Yes.
if you recall, so that I negotiated the suspension and I don't get suspended. Because the reason I was grabbed by SFC was because I went to rescue Dongoto who was being beaten. But really, I had some respect for Baryomunsi. From what he has said today, I know I am dealing with a
produced the
criminal.
list of seven.
Baryomunsi, do you want
There
to
was
retract your statement?
No.
There was no
I am
list.
speaking on
That
authority.
list of suspension was never made by anyone.
You provided
Because me, I was never suspended.
Actually, the issue was the list had 7 members. Now the problem in opposition, everybody wanted to be on the list.
Katana and
No,
I
you
are
said we
enjoying the
negotiated.
drama
Now
now.
everybody wanted-
no.
Everybody, because
You
now
have
the
a
team,
record on that?
the team which negotiated.
There was
only thing
nobody
I
who
remember-
negotiated for suspension.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No. Do you remember when they were now shouting?
Dr.
People who
Chris.
put on the table and saying, "Why am I not on the list? Why have you excluded me? You want me to
I
name them?"
don't know of anyone. You name them. I don't know of anyone.
When
So
we
the
were
point I am
arrested
making-
during Toji Kwatako, I was brought into the van. I found Ssemujju there, I think bleeding from the forehead. They threw me in the van. The next person to come in the van was Bobby Wine. And the third person who came in the van was Zake. I think it was foams were coming from the nose and all his trouser was torn. Now, that is the time I realized the difference between me and Ssemujju, because I told the soldier, pick the gun and put it in my mouth. Put it and shoot, pull the trigger. And Ssemujju was restraining me that we shall handle this matter. Let's give it more time. So, the pain we had in that drone, until we protested and they dropped Zake at the traffic light of Fairway because he was going to die. Actually, Zake should look for me and buy for me a bottle of Coke.
So now what I'm telling you,
Yes.
behind the scenes,
I
So
don't-
Zake was
behind the
negotiating
scenes,
that he
that's
should be
all done.
killed.
Behind the scenes,
Requested to be
there had
beaten.
been a negotiation.
Between
a
who
list-
and who?
Hold on, a list was produced. Now the challenge that came was that now everybody wanted to be on the list. That's why you saw some members stand on the table and shout.
Other than Ssemujju, who else wanted to be on the list?
They are comfortable.
But me, I
No.
was- I
Since
was
you're now
not- I was
letting the
not-
cat out of the
I was
bag.
not
Yes.
They
getting
are
suspended.
comfortable. You know, so the point I am making,
No,
I
be
don't
honest.
know.
I want you to be honest.
I don't
Face
know.
the camera.
yes,
Please face
I
the
am
camera.
saying,
Uh-huh.
okay, keep quiet and I tell you,
Yes.
that the opposition had negotiated and produced a list of those to be suspended.
So which opposition?
But
Because I was in the leadership.
But now they got internal challenges because everybody wanted to be suspended.
What
Why?
was the benefit?
Because they were saying the benefit was we can't defeat this issue, but we would want to retain our parliamentary seats. Now, if we are suspended from
But that was
parliament,
the beginning of a parliament.
That's all done. If we are, it was 2017.
Yes, with
if
the
we are
elections in
suspended,
2021, we're talking about 4 years.
we shall be safe with the constituency that we tried our level best, but they pushed us away.
think that's
then you
blackmail.
can pass.
That is-
No,
I
you
don't
are not an MP.
I don't know that
You don't
Chris-
sit in
I
parliament.
don't know
I'm
that
telling
Chris,
you.
you can
I
lie
was
with
at the
a straight
center of
face.
arrangement in the
Well,
parliament.
we'll move straight now
Maybe-
to
I was at the
Afro
center
Mobile.
of parliament.
You were not.
Numbers of MPs and a lot of other issues have even sat down to take stock of what happened.
Of course, when you are dealing with an entrenched authoritarian system, one of the key things you need is resilience. Because all the injustices visited upon you are intended to break your spirit, to distract you, and to ensure that you're not able to progress. So while we face all this tyranny, our responsibility and duty is not to allow to be derailed. As to whether we have been able to take stock, it's a process. We believe from where we stand that the process, of course, it is only an indecent person that would be bragging about the 71 or 90% without bearing in mind the process.
Do you concede defeat?
Of course
Regardless?
we don't. We have been on record that we don't, because we have raised objection as to the processes that led to the declaration. In fact, even when we have done comparisons from a number of places, the results that were declared by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and his commissioners do not tally with what was obtained at a number of polling stations across the country. But that is besides the point. The point is that
what was your candidate's tally, for starters? I know you were at the tally center.
The one that the Electoral Commission announced?
No. Contrary to what the Electoral Commission...
No, I don't want to preempt. That is an announcement that will be made by the right person, not me.
So was Kyagulanyi's election rigged?
Certainly.
What was his margin?
No, that is a simplistic way of approaching this. Rigging is not about just figures. But I have told you that, of course, for us, we are not a reactionary group that you come and say, now for us, we have 20 or 30. There's a process. We are auditing, and at the right time, the party will speak to the nation. I'm sure you have noticed that we have not even had a press conference as a party. So at an appropriate time, we will do that. And not even your prompting will make me...
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and there's an explanation.
The level of organization.
There's an explanation, but I don't want to be distracted by that. Across the country, most of our agents were being picked. Even the coordinators who were taking them letters and resources were being arrested. But that is, I believe, a story for another day. The authoritarian regimes allocate themselves big percentages. Hosni Mubarak, I think, would make this one look like a poor score, and several others. But as long as these figures are a result of a process that has been messed up and are not a reflection of an accurate picture of what transpired at polling stations, the figures don't mean much. You can go and even swear yourself in and brag that you have got 90%.
Could there be a possibility that Kyagulanyi won?
Yes.
By what percentage?
But I've already answered that question, that at an appropriate time, the figures will be given to you. If you only want me to say figures or no figures, you can tell me to keep quiet, but I've given you an answer.
They are still counting.
That at an appropriate time, the person that is supposed to do that will make the...
You were at the tally. You were at the tally center.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're very well addressed to whatever happened.
Was there counting at the tally center?
Did you have a parallel?
Was there counting at the tally center?
Did you have a parallel tally center?
So, if you are not versed with what transpires at the tally center, then I can share with you the information. That at the tally center, what the Electoral Commission through Byabakama was doing is announced. But because, first of all, there is even no opportunity for different candidates at that particular time and their agents. In fact, we even raised the question that what is the essence of having this occasion of inviting people to come here for just a ceremony, because there should be an opportunity for people to say that in this place, this was our score, like it happens at the district tally centers, but there's no such an opportunity. They don't speak to anybody, they come and announce what they have announced and they walk away.
So for now, what do your tallies reveal?
We will inform the country.
What is taking you forever? It's been a week.
You are not aware that at the beginning of this discussion, Simon, you have mentioned that our leader is on the run. You have mentioned that our deputy presidents are on the run. We have mentioned that our various leaders, including people that perform that responsibility, are in jail. So when we are able to make the announcement, we'll be able to do so.
So does this suggest that the party currently is in a stalemate? The leadership is in disarray?
Maybe that is the leadership is, people are on the run, others are in jail, others every day live under fear that they are going to be picked because they receive tip-offs from different people that you're the next person to be arrested. But I can tell you that the party is not in a disarray.
Saying it's only the Banyankoles inside Noob who are not picked.
Well, but
I think that's below the belt.
No, there's someone was tweeting.
yeah, but no.
It's Ugandans.
The deputy president for Western region is missing.
She's in hiding.
They were picked. There's a video of a drone and soldiers picking her. The coordinator for Ankole is in detention. So while many times I don't want to respond to certain things, but
I think that goes down as tribal.
No, but I'm sure he said it in
jest.
In jest.
No, he's quoting what people are writing. What you
whoever wrote it in
Okay,
in
does
jest.
this spell tough times for the National Unity Platform as used as seven stats?
Not for National Unity Platform, but tough times for Uganda. The other day, the Honorable Dongoto is not from NUP, but I saw him complaining about injustices at the 30th of his district. I have seen, when I was coming here earlier, I watched a video of people in Ntungamo complaining about fraud in their elections that led to the returning of the LC5 chairman. There are complaints from across the country. So for anybody to try to look at the crisis occasioned by voter fraud, by election fraud in the country as a noob matter, I think that person is missing the point. It is a matter that should concern all the people of Uganda, regardless of which political party they subscribe to. Even in addition to that, the violence that characterized the process, especially on polling day and the days leading to the polling day and the aftermath, the Chief of Defense Forces has come out and said 22 people have been killed. But we know from various sources that the people who have been killed in this process are more than 22 in Kayunga, in Butambara, in various parts of the country. So for anybody to come here and think that these are matters of NUP, I think it is a very, I don't want to use a very rude word, but I think it is a simplistic way of appreciating the situation. I think what is important is that as a nation, we need to come to a point where we have a discussion that can we have elections that will not lead to death of people? Can we have elections whose results will reflect the will of the people? Can we have, because elections
Does
should
that
not
fall
be...
into his suggestion for national dialogue?
Well, that is his proposal.
Has not gotten to that level where it's time to talk?
No, we have not had that discussion as a party. But what I agree with him is that the politics of our country needs to be restructured. It needs to be restructured that even people who whether people are in government at that particular time, because even the crisis here will not be in government forever, that even people who are outside the government, they are able to engage in this process, knowing that this is a constitutional process that we're engaging in, and by doing so, we are not committing a crime. We can choose to support a person of our choice. If he wins, well and good. If he doesn't, we shall rally behind the one who has won, but provided the process has been fair, has been just, and it's not just a matter of ticking the box that we have had elections, and then we forget about the people who have died, we forget about the money which has been wasted, we forget about the people who have been detained for committing no crime. I don't think all that has characterized our elections adds much in making Uganda a better country.
Thank you. Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, what has become typical of election are murders, brutality of the state, money and everything. Could this be one election where maybe the government ought to sit back and do some soul searching about the cohesion of the country, like Odongoto comes out to say, maybe it's time now to talk?
Well, you are quick to blame the NRM, the government side, but I think it is important to audit all the political actors. When we went to multi-party, and with the emergence of Dr. Kizza Besigye forming initially Reform Agenda, then FDC, we saw a creation of a radicalized wing of politics. Radicalism, extremism, belligerence, defiance, a disloyal opposition with a message of hatred, an anti-Museveni agenda, and that Museveni must go, rather than focusing on ideological principles that define what the political parties want to articulate. Because if you ask, what has FDC been standing for? What does NUP stand for? It is, summary is, Museveni must go. Not, we want to reform healthcare, education, governance, wealth creation. No. It is that belligerent extremist.
Is it what now informs government's high-handedness?
Just hold on. So I think there may be weaknesses, yes, on our side, which we must internally also reform. But I think the radical wing of our politics must also tone it down. And that's why Ugandans, majority, have rejected that approach. That is why even parties like FDC have collapsed, because when they are moderate forces, the Ssemujju say, no, we must be radicalized, and they chase Mugisha Muntu because he's moderate. They remain with FDC. The moderates, the Nandaras are chased, they say you are Moors. They form BFF, and you can see the party has collapsed on its own weight. The same NUP does not learn from that. It forms the party, people power, you start beating people who are putting on yellow and so forth without articulating your vision, so that Ugandans can choose between what has NRM marketed to us, what is this party marketing to us. So that radicalism will not work. And of course, Newton's law says to every action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. Now, if you are a party and for you are proposing violence, you will definitely be 100. It is a fire which is used to handle fire. Now, when people
You're justifying violence, right?
Hold on. In 2018.
No. Are you justifying state violence?
Just wait. Let me justify by explaining. In 2018, when the Katanas wanted to ban Kampala by beating whoever is putting on yellow, by unaddressing women who are putting on innocent yellow blouses on the streets of Kampala, all of us were here. Did you want the army and security forces to put a red carpet for people, power goons who are beating people? They had to come in to quell that kind of violence. So I think it takes two to tango. We should all tone it down and say we want a better Uganda. We may be using different approaches to reach there, but we can sit and tone. Now, two.
What would it take for government to extend an olive branch in the name of national peace and cohesion?
Before I answer that, I thought to make a comment that when I was arrested, as Ssemujju said, somebody rang me from Parliament and said they are going to arrest you. Please go into hiding. That time in 2012, I said, okay, I will go where I'm going, let them arrest me. And they arrested me. So for Chaguranyi, even if somebody had said, I want to kill you, if I was him, me, Baryomunsi, I would say, come and kill me. And you come and kill. Oh, if CDF said, I want to arrest you, he said, you come and arrest me. But to go into hiding, for us, Bachiga, it's a sign of cowardice. You cannot tell your voters, we demand our vote, then you go and hide. And you want my children to go on the street to confront security when you have hidden your own children. Where are Chaguranyi's children? Why are they not rallying our children to go and demand the vote? You hide them. You go in the bush. No, you hide your children. You hide your children. You hide your children. Then you say our children should go and demand the vote. That is cowardice, and I don't think it gives him a score. Now, NRM is the most tolerant organization we can have, or we have had. President Yoweri Museveni, some of us who work with him, he has a very large magnanimous heart. He's a person who doesn't believe in pursuing and killing those who do not agree with him. Actually, his approach, he extends a hand until when he persuades you to work with him. Now, look at the history. Every time we come out of elections, the time I think it was 2011 or 2006, when he emerged the winner and said, all the presidential candidates who participated, let's meet over a cup of tea and discuss. Others went, is Dr. Besigye who refused. Said, how can you invite me for a cup of tea? I mean, if a candidate has said, let's sit, what is the issue? We are all leaders, we want to lead the country.
In a disputed election.
Yes, but if you are talking of reconciliation, everybody must tone down. Of course, there are tensions and anxieties after elections. But if you mean well for a country, even if you have been my opponent, when I meet my opponent in the Kanunga elections, I can't slap him. We take
because
a cup
you
of
have no
tea.
capacity, otherwise.
No. So, the president has been on record, for instance, going to IPOD. IPOD is a forum which brings together political parties that are represented in the parliament. It is these radicalized wings of opposition that have refused to come there when the president is there. The president has never refused. Even the proposal by Honorable Dongoto, I have no problem with it, and I think and believe President Museveni can forgive Besigye if there are efforts. And you have challenged me to tell the president in the cabinet. I may not raise the cabinet, but I will speak to him over the issue. But you see, it will take also...
So it takes pleading for
first of all...
So it is Museveni now to release Besigye?
No. By the way, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't even think the president has powers to sign an order to release a prisoner on remand. It will require the state just dropping the charges, but that can be worked out. Right. But you see, to also take Dr. Besigye to tone it down so that there is a meeting of hearts. If you want us to take that effort, we can. I can tell you, when I met the president, I went and met Dr. Besigye, and the opposition was right to say, why did you go there? Why? But this is a brother, politics aside. I came, I discussed with the road mayor, if you want me to say, and we were trying to start an effort how to resolve this issue. We agreed to meet with the senior leaders of the party. The day we were supposed to meet in Dr. Besigye's home, I can say that, it is the PFF people, including Winnie Byanyima, who said, no, we don't want anybody to intervene in this. So some of us have taken effort. We don't say it in public, but...
You're literally agreeing that Besigye's current situation is political?
No. There are charges against him. The state insists it has credible and incontrovertible evidence against him. And we have been saying, bring it in the court, we hear.
Honorable Ssemujju,
let me conclude my point. I'm saying there are charges, serious ones, against Dr. Besigye. But what the Honorable Dongoto is saying, yes, they can be there, but can't we initiate a process of saying, yes, they may be there, but can't these be resolved? And I'm saying, personally, I have no problem with him. We can start a process, engage the president, and I am sure the president would be
Honorable
willing
Ssemujju,
to do this.
you've had Chris suggesting that the state is always willing and magnanimous. They would extend an olive branch to have Besigye free and to resolve the current political impasse.
The state was captured. That's why in all this he doesn't say I met the Attorney General. I met the president. Professor Ansibami called the presidentialism. So this whole thing is about...
to be the God.
I thought the principal legal advisor of government is the Attorney General. That the discussion will start from there. Baryomunsi contradicts himself. He says this matter, even the president cannot. Now I met the president, now I was going to Besigye's home, just skirting around the issue.
You see, where
we are, and I sympathize with people like Baryomunsi. Today Besigye is a victim. Tomorrow, I don't know who will be the victim. Maybe it will be you, Baryomunsi.
I will handle it when I reach there. Don't worry. Plus, we are products of struggles. So.
Because you see, the unresolved issue here today, you have a man who does not want to compete against him. Or you must compete against him on his own terms. Today is Besigye, tomorrow is Bobi Wine, someone else will face the same problems. And the trouble now, we were dealing with one individual. Now we are dealing with his son. The brother is operating silently in the north. You don't need the state. You don't need Baryomunsi. You don't need anyone. These fellows who have arrested Museveni and his son are the ones who will resolve all these problems you are going through. And that's why you've not seen any government person speaking as reckless as Museveni's son. I have killed 20 terrorists. His father said one of the reasons he went to fight was to stop extrajudicial killings. And the son is celebrating, I have killed 22, Kyagulanyi will be the 23rd. That's where we are. And that matter can be temporary. Even the Gaddafi who wanted to spray people as cockroaches, he said, I am coming to Bengal to spray as cockroaches. The cockroaches eventually took him. We may be powerless, Museveni magnanimous, as if he's doing anyone a favor. This Uganda does not belong to Museveni and his family, that everybody must go on his knees, like he was one time told the parliament, if you want to meet me, you must come crawling. I think that's what they want to see, that everybody is on his knees, the clans and the clan leaders and the Bachiga headed by Baryomunsi must go, okay, now I forgive him, now the matters must be discontinued. We simply can't run Uganda like that. It is okay, he will stay there. Besigye is not like, he is not a coward. He was in Luwero for 4 years. He abandoned the comfort.
You are a coward. Where have I? Where? No, I was in secondary school.
Secondary school.
Even younger children joined.
When the NRM came, I was in senior 3.
They are children of your age,
10 years. Yes.
Even younger than you.
No, not everybody had to go to
anyway,
we contributed different.
Besigye is not a coward.
Neither,
and I think if you want
neither
him,
am I.
And I think if you want him to die, he's one person who will accept to die from Ruzira. And then
all of us will die. There's no immortal.
Yeah, but this olive branch is irresistible. The condition is let him turn down.
Turn down on what? Turn down on what? What has he said?
Baryomunsi.
Besigye went to attend the book launch and is kidnapped.
But you others too. There are things we don't say on the TV. But they are very strong crimes that is accused of. Very strong and very grave.
Is that the first time?
Very grave.
Is that the first time?
And being an opposition leader does make you immune to prosecution. And for us, the point has been, let the courts expedite the process. Let that evidence be laid out so that we see whether prosecution has strong evidence or not. Why are you not in Ruzira? Because they are not suspected of anything.
You mean every Ugandan should be in Ruzira?
No, if there are accusations against you. He's accused of plans to kill President Yoweri Museveni.
So
that is something very simple.
Thinks when you compete for power,
no,
you want to kill
that
him.
is very simple.
So when
is it the Best General who is competing against Museveni? And the other candidates who have stood against him?
Who are
as was Besigye standing for the first time since 2001 has been standing. Why had they never arrested
him? Is there a year
actually,
that
he has ever been arrested for treason previously.
Yes.
Yeah. And it collapsed because it was also...
what he should pray for is challenges.
I want to move on to Honorable Dongoto, but Honorable Ssemujju, as I shift, we're looking at the opposition 2026 to 2031, more fractured than ever. The big shots in the opposition have been crushed by the opposition, ironically. Can you put up a front to drive a common agenda anymore?
The opposition is not the leaders. You are making a mistake.
Yeah.
The leaders will keep changing. This one you see here being propaganda. Don't be surprised to wake up and Baryomunsi is the one in Ruzira like Besigye. Who knew that Mbabazi would be fighting with Museveni? So
Ruzira was built for individuals.
The opposition...
So if they take me, I will be there.
The opposition is the population.
Don't scare me.
All of us can provide leadership at some stage. And I'm not saying that us quarreling and elbowing each other is healthy. It isn't. When you are fighting dictatorship as entrenched as this one, you will need to work together. But even if it doesn't happen, I've kept telling people.
So why did Nup remove you when you were a good opposition leader?
But you are fighting with the Babas, were you not in NRM?
No, I've never stood with him. He had his own constituency, I had mine.
But you are fighting every day.
No.
Didn't NRM arrest you?
Even now, he has been contesting with an NRM person who was even a chairman of the district.
No, I defeated him in the primaries. I defeated him as an independent.
Yes.
You see,
those are internal competitions.
It is healthy to work together, but even if it fails, you all can make a contribution. When Museveni was fighting, Moses Ali had a rebel group, Kaira had one, Nkwanga had. Because human beings are human beings. You may agree, you may disagree. The desirable thing is for all of us to work together, but it may not happen. That's why we have different political parties. If working together was very easy, we would be under one umbrella. In Kenya it works, in Uganda it doesn't work. Because as we fight to remove Museveni, we're also fighting for these positions. And they can be destructive. I know one of the things that has been troubling university all the time. Even in Mount, one time we say the trouble is that office seeking becomes the main agenda of all of you. And therefore it becomes the problem to focus on the bigger struggle. Because all of you are focused on office seeking. This particular election, you need to ask yourself legitimate questions. Assuming we had been one umbrella, maybe violence would even have multiplied. Because that's a possibility that you can agree, you have one umbrella, and then Museveni will multiply violence. Because the idea is to break you down.
Well,
whether you are one, whether you are united or not.
Honorable Dongoto, 2026 to 2031, what kind of opposition now is obtaining after the crashing of the big stalwarts?
Maybe even before attempting to answer that question, one thing which you should invite the Electoral Commission here to talk about is about the seals. Because over 25 vote recount has failed. Because you just give some policeman 1 million to break 2 seals. So we may, instead of investing in the BVM machines, we may have to invest in electronic seals, which is like a padlock, where each party can page in a code. Because, for example, I have allegedly that I lost by 26 votes. And when we asked for the recount, 5 boxes were torn. So we are wasting the time of the judiciary, the same in Tororo, the same in Butambala. So that discussion should begin. Now, going to where you are. Yeah, yes. And
they are working.
Because there is a court of appeal ruling that once
worked for lower elections.
They were good for lower elections.
Actually, there's a court of appeal ruling that once the boxes have been opened, the recount must stop. And we gave powers to the magistrates' court to recount. So they cannot undo a decision of a higher court. So this application for recount is a waste of time because someone just breaks one seal and they walk out celebrating that they have won. But getting to your question, for me,
the state of the opposition.
Yes. What bothers me is not the state of the opposition. We have been decimated. We have lost big shots. What bothers me is not the collapse of democracy. What bothers me is the involvement of the military in our democracy. Because no one is born. I want you to show me where Ssemujju was born, and when they were cutting his umbilical cord, they said you should be opposition forever. It's not like a dress, like the color of, like the clothes of a hen. A hen, if it is white for the whole of his life until it is slaughtered. So I don't want to be addressed like it is our thing, Ssemujju, mayor. We can also join the movement. We are not condemned to be on one side. We can also wake up tomorrow and join NUP. We can also wake up and join PLU, anything. So this discussion of us versus them is not very healthy for this country. So in this next parliament, the opposition has been totally decimated. We have close to 70% transactional politicians, those who have come for the job because they think there is money. So there will be limited checks on the powers that be. So this parliament, in my opinion, will perform very badly because some people came looking for money. Now, the difference between transactional politicians and career politicians is diverse. Let me give you 4 examples of career politicians. I am a career politician. With or without elections, I am in this thing.
So,
President Museveni is a career politician. He's an ideologue. He can pursue an ideology for a lifetime. Mwanga Kivumbi is a career politician. Ssemujju Ibrahim is a career politician. The Speaker of Parliament is not. No. There are people who are.
I think that's personal.
No.
No, he has
you
given
see,
many
career
examples.
politicians, Ssemujju.
No, because the speaker
just
is
being
not
a
here.
coward.
No. What I'm saying, a career politician
Simon,
is
just being a coward.
like Ssemujju or me.
Said it is him.
I would pursue one ideology for a lifetime. And I believe in it, like President Museveni believes, encourage foreign direct investment so that the investors can employ the youth. It is an ideology. You really need to persuade him to abandon that ideology. He lives with it for a lifetime. But these ones of Potea Pata, like Batembe, you know, a hawker, when they're passing, say, oh, how much is this? Have a cup of tea. It's very unlikely that the hawker will decline your offer. Because he thinks after taking tea, you're going to buy a kitenge. So we are seeing less career politicians in this parliament and more of transactional politicians.
Does it spell doom for the struggle?
So the opposition outside the NRM is decimated. The constructive opposition, in my opinion, which is philosophical, is going to be within NRM. So the safest and wisest thing to do now is to oppose the movement from within, because opposing it from outside is a very risky business.
Are you joining?
No. That's another question for another day. It is wiser to oppose from within, because opposing from outside, these people will cut off your head. The government is armed to teeth. Now you tell me, Simon, tell me one opposition member remaining in that house. You tell me, just mention 3. You're even having difficulties on the first one. Who? Ssemujju is out, unbelievable. Matias Puga, Mwanga Kivumbi, Segona. Just tell me one, Dr. Chris. Tell me 3 opposition members remaining in that parliament. Just 3 like this.
Senyonyi, the leader of opposition.
That is one. Second.
What's wrong with him?
And in a parliament of 570 NRM. So this parliament, in my opinion, is a done deal.
How about the struggle outside parliament?
The struggle outside parliament is a very risky business. I would not advise anyone. Personally, I would even say waiting for 10 years is not much time. Because people die. There is a term limit of God. But to go on the streets that our power, protest votes, in the current circumstances, only a mad person who can do that. They'll kill you. Can you imagine the whole of Mwanga Kivumbi in prison? The other day, Senyonyi was arrested from the airport alongside Rubongoya. If they're arresting the big shots and people are being promoted for arresting them, what about you?
Well,
So I wouldn't advise any person to go on the streets. It's not a very good business.
Well, we're taking a very short break, but Council Katana, is Tukavanji on hold or dead?
Neither of the two.
What is its fate?
It's alive.